Happy COVID Friday, Mr. Oni Guillén and Ozzie Guillen here on Being Guillén. What's up, guys?
Uh, little issue today with the maintenance in my building, and I'm a little pissed off right now. I think I didn't like Corona before. I don't like it even more now.
Well, I can't hear what Ozzie said. His comment kind of lost there in translation. So let's get right into it. Everyone wants to know about it. I'm still in quarantine in Corona in my basement, and Ozzie sent a message that had to be decrypted. I text back, and actually this morning, Tampa radio was booming, and I had like 5 missed calls, and people were looking for Ozzie because allegedly there's a beef that no one knew they needed between Ozzie Guillen and José Canseco. So Ozzie, can you explain to us and to everybody what happened? And by the way, Jose was very nice saying that you're 180. I don't think you've been 180 in the last 10 years.
Well, Jose says 210. He was 210 when he was born. You know what I mean? I know it's something he want to fight. He always loved to fight. He always loved to do that, and I don't know why he want to do that. One thing about Jose, he loved to fight when he not play baseball. I see him in a baseball fight, and you don't want to do it. I tell you what, if I have Jose Canseco's fight, I will fight everyone because that man is in great shape. He's a big, tall man in great conditions. Always work out. But yes, I told Jose, I said, listen, I move like Mayweather and I hit like Mike Tyson and I'm hungry like a Mexican on the ring. I'm ready for it.
Well, so the part that's funny you saying that is, so there's a Barstool Sports has Rough and Rowdy, and basically it's where amateurs can go in and fight anybody, okay? And I know the reason that I thought this was even a better topic was because Oni's a huge boxing fan. And I don't know who this guy John Paul is, Jay Paul, whatever. I just know that he beat up on Nate Robinson. I think that's what it was. Knocked the poor guy out. And now this guy's calling out like former champions, guys who are really into boxing. I respect boxing. It's not a regular bar fight, but this is what Canseco wants to fight this guy, John Paul, Jay Paul, who's I guess a Twitter sensation. But people are saying, Ozzie, if you would get in the ring in Rough and Rowdy and fight, Canseco is going to fight an intern in Barstool Sports. We've seen Canseco do this MMA thing. It wasn't a good display. And this new world of celebrities fighting boxers and wannabe boxers. Oni, what's your take on this? You know, you're a boxing fan. Jay Paul, I don't even know what the guy's name is, calling out celebrities. Do you find excitement on this? And what do you think Ozzie's chances would be?
I mean, honestly, it's just a reason for guys to make money. Apparently there's a big audience out there for this though, because after the Nate Robinson got knocked out by one of the Paul brothers, other boxers, you know, they take offense to that because it's like it's basically someone saying there's no training, you know, just started doing it, and you're gonna start thinking that boxing is easy. We saw what happened when Mayweather got in the ring with Conor, who's an amazing UFC fighter. Pretty easy work. Jose's been in the ring before. We've seen CM Punk get in the ring before with wrestling and going into UFC. I think everyone should just stick in their own lane and do what they do best. I think Jose, I don't know if he understood it, but I think it was more a sarcasm or a joke that he took literal. And people actually think that, you know, they're going to get into a celebrity charity event fight. Obviously, the weight classes would be way off. And it's just funny because Jose Canseco does whatever he can. Bless his soul. He does whatever he can to stay relevant. And I'm a big fan of his because he's, you know, everything he said is true. And I love following his Twitter account because it's entertaining. But I would never take anything that just a couple days ago, he was talking about A-Rod and J-Lo and how A-Rod's going to cheat on her with a fitness superstar. So I know Jose friends of mine have gone to Jose's car wash in Vegas. And if I'm ever back in Vegas, I'd love to see what his car wash is like.
Well, I love Jose Canseco because I think that he's just been so misunderstood in the world of baseball and everything that he takes. And I think the Twitter world is funny, like the saying things literally. It was a joke. Obviously, the weight classes wouldn't even be there. I think that I think the best part of the story would be trying to see if you guys could actually survive the training of a boxing fight, because if you guys had even fought for 1 minute, I saw Mike Tyson fight Hopkins and they were dying. And these guys were professionals.
Would they do VADA testing before this fight?
Yeah, I don't think people would pass. Ozzie,
they might pass.
Let me tell you something. The reason. Let me tell Ozzie this. He know I was a boxer before baseball. The reason I played the game of baseball because I couldn't be a boxer, because a guy calling Angel Sanoja kicked the crap out of me in my first fight. I put my gloves up and told my uncle, said, take that tape off my hands and never be a boxer. Thanks to Sanoja, the guy, he hit me so hard, my boogers coming out of my brains.
We would have been broke. And again, those are things that I think I respect the world of boxing so much, because I've gotten in a ring, I've gotten in a batting cage. You can see 90, 95. I grew up with baseball. I know that I can do it. If I ever see a guy coming at me throwing punches, even if it's a 13-year-old kid, I don't know how I would react. I've never been – bar fights don't count because bar fights are throwing guys and pushing around. But in a ring with lights, everyone's looking at you. It's just you and the other person. I don't know how I would take to a counter punch. I might take my glove off and try to bite him.
This guy is going to – before we jump into the next topic, he's going to humiliate himself, but he's going to make a lot of money. Mayweather's decided to fight him. It's ridiculous. Next weekend, there will be a fight that actually is with two professionals, with Conor McGregor and Poirier, which will be very exciting. I know I'll be getting the pay-per-view to watch it. It's just a way for guys to make money. Nowadays, like Mike Tyson says, if you have a phone and you have Twitter, you can insult anyone and not get punched in the face.
Yeah, I agree. So, Ozzie, but I will say this, Ozzie. I would love you, though. I would love you to be, if Jose does fight this intern, I would love to see you commentate on the fight.
Oh, I will do that.
With Big Cat. I'm saying, like, I would love for you to be a corner man, okay, for one of these two parties, or I would love for you to comment on the fight, because I don't think that you grew up fighting. Obviously, you're from Venezuela. I think people underestimate that. I think people take more size than actual ability. But I would love to see you commentating. And I'm not gonna lie, Oni, I don't know who this Paul guy was until the Nate Robertson. I will pay money until I see somebody knock him out. Oh, I guarantee that.
You'll see it very soon.
By the way, Ozzie, the one thing about this man, I don't respect boxing so much just because he beat some in the ring. He's moving from from LA to Miami to create a career boxing. You're not create career boxing when you're 30 years old, 28 years old. That's not easy.
Well, I think I'm going to start rigatoniing.
To fight him in the street.
The guy
in
said,
Miami to
the
see
problem was that the guy said that he wanted to, I don't know if you could say bang on the air. He wanted to hook up with José Canseco, his daughter.
Who's a gorgeous girl. We've known her since she was a little girl. She's a beautiful kid.
So Jose got very upset on Twitter, and he said, "I'm going to fight this guy," which is hilarious. I hope it happens because it'll be.
I think this. I think for Jose's, I think Jose has a better shot at an MMA fight, meaning he needs legs because he can kick because he was into the karate thing. 100% boxing. I don't think he can do it.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just a way for guys.
By the way, if Jose this kid with one hand,
he's gonna get him. I would love to see him fight Nails, Lenny Dystruck. And again, this is baseball. There's so many great guys on Twitter in the world of baseball, but again, people thought it was a beef. For some reason, you bring out that in people. But again, we'll sit here, Barstool Sports. Ozzie's open to commentating. I cannot wait because Rough and Rowdy is awesome. We love the Guillén family. Love seeing other grown people get knocked out.
By the way,
we're fans of that.
Mayweather could just text me, say, "Hey, you know what? You want to really do it Jose boxing because I move like Mayweather. Come to my office in Vegas to train with me for 1 month."
By the way, if you say you moved like Mayweather, you meant Senior or Roger.
No,
did you move like Roger?
I do.
You say you moved like Roger Mayweather.
So,
again, though, this is fun. Again, we're huge boxing fans. Again, this whole Canseco thing, it's going to be funny. We're actually hoping.
Speaking of boxing, have you seen our producer Jesse throw hands?
He can throw hands. Our producer can throw hands. So, I actually want to have Jose on though on La Vida Baseball and talk about, because I actually during this quarantine, believe it or not, even before this whole controversy, the stupid beef story that came up, because Jose's probably one of the coolest guys in the game. I rewatched the documentary, okay, of Jose Canseco, the documentary that nobody knows it ever exists, where he actually talks about why he juiced and he's talking to his mom and he wants to be the best, player ever. Jose Canseco was in JV his junior year in high school. Okay, this guy played 1 year of varsity baseball. Like, this guy literally made himself a rock star of a baseball player and was bigger than the game. And it's funny because when we sit here and everybody talks about Fernando Tatis Jr. and he's the face of baseball and he's this. Jose Canseco was doing this 35 years ago when there wasn't even a face of the game. Like, he was the guy. Like,
I would say before Ken Griffey Jr. and Frank, the 90s, late 80s, it was a Jose show.
By the way, I went to a couple of All-Star games when I think when Jose showed up in town, Jose Canseco was in town, not the team. Jose Canseco was on it. That guy, he do so many people can judge him for anything, but no matter what you put in your body and you have the ability. Oh my God! I remember Floyd Bannister pitching in Oakland. I said they pitch in the night before they take him deep. Then Floyd Bannister, I said, "What do you think we can give Jose?" I said, "Hey, stay away from him. Stay away from him." All of a sudden, he throw fastball away and he hit the ball right field like 200,000 miles. And Floyd Bannister come to go, "I don't want your pitching coach."
Well, here's the part though, and this is the part where I would love when people talk about steroids. I would love to juice all the players right now that are supposed to be good, and I want because again, if Jose was juicing, he wasn't the only guy. So there wasn't like 5 Jose's going 50, doing 40-40. That's the part that I think is funny when people talk about like, oh, everyone was juicing. Well, Brady Anderson didn't go 50-50, meaning 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases. Like, Jose was doing things, running. I have a funny, before we change topics, I remember being in Tampa, and I've always been obsessed with Jose because I loved big dudes, the physique. And he was in Tampa, and you guys were teammates, and Jose had a hip injury, okay? Something was wrong with his hip, and he was training, and they were trying to see if he can come back to play. And they were in the outfield, and I'm playing catch, but they're doing their training, and Jose's running sprints, okay? And he's running at the baseball markage, the 60, the 90, the bases basically, and he's running it at 6'1", 6'1".
Hurts.
So this guy's I'm in high school at the time. Like
that's what I would run full speed.
That's what I would run full speed. Jose was doing it at 235 pounds plus, and he's hurt. So those things in my head, man, I'm like, wow, this guy's a beast of an athlete. So again, looking forward to talking more about Jose. Looking forward more to again learning more about. Hopefully, if he gets to the ring or not, we're definitely going to follow it. And then Ozzie on Twitter, Ozzie. Somebody said that you're the only person that they had no idea that you could tweet like you can talk. But again, you were a sensation. But the next topic is going to be a good one because it's actually very interesting. Ozzie, you've been through this. Only you've talked about it. Yesterday in Pólvora en Diamantes, which is one of the shows here on La Vida Baseball that we love and cherish, Yadi Molina actually had an opportunity to talk about his thoughts of what he actually thinks about what is going to happen. And he basically put it out there that he will consider retiring if he does not come back to the Cardinals. So we have Yadir's comments that he made on the show where he broke the story. And I want to get you guys' input on what you guys think about this, the end of an era for Yadi Molina, or do you think this is a little premature to talk about this? So let's roll that clip.
Oye, Yadier, ya está. Antes de seguir con el relajo, la pregunta, ¿no? La pregunta, ¿qué está pasando con Yadier Molina, agente libre, Cardenales, fulano, sutano, mengano? ¿Qué está pasando con el futuro inmediato de Yadier Molina? ¿Qué equipo es el que se ha acercado? ¿Lo que nos puedes decir?
Bueno, Pablo, hay varios equipos, hay como 5 equipos que están bien interesados. De verdad, ¿sabes? Esperando, el mercado está bien lento. Yo no entiendo cómo el mercado puede estar lento, pero eso es cosa de ellos. Nada, aquí esperando, preparándome fuerte. Cuando Dios diga, ¿qué más puedo hacer? Cuando Dios diga, si desea, si es su voluntad que pueda volver, pues vuelvo. Si no, pues nos retiramos contentos con frente en alta y tuve una buena carrera y Y de verdad que bien contento por eso. Y si no pasa nada, pues me retiro y me quedo aquí con el nene mío que tiene 12 años, Yanu, que está empezando en esto de béisbol y apoyándolo. Y tranquilo, vamos a ver qué pasa. Yo estoy preparándome. Tú sabes que tú me conoces que yo estoy metiendo manos a ver qué va a pasar. Y después de ahí, pues, lo que Dios diga. Lo que Dios diga. A ver.
Oye, Javier.
Ya.
So a great story there from Portwood and Diamantes, Castillo, Pliego, El Polo, with the great Yadi Molina, who doesn't speak a lot, doesn't talk a lot, and he's in a crossroads. He's in a crossroads because I don't know. So I know Ozzie probably didn't see it. I don't know if you saw it. Did you guys see the ratings for catchers that Major League Baseball MLB Network came up with?
I saw that the Real Muto's #1, Grandal's #2.
How about Grandal #2?
But that's what I'm saying, though. So a lot of controversy on like what they consider a good catcher.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about a Yadi Molina. We're not talking about Carlton Fisk, last year catching, he's almost 50 years old.
If you saw him play, he still has something left in the tank. Like he's not like a bum, like, oh, we're going to do him a favor and, whatever. Two things I'll say. First of all, shout out to Vida Baseball for breaking the story. Unbelievable. I saw it on MLB Network. I was very proud and very happy. And second of all, Yadier apparently wants 3 years, $60 million. He made $20 million last year. It would be very, very sad and unfortunate if he doesn't retire a Cardinal because, he's been there so long. He's been successful there. He's basically been the cornerstone of that franchise forever. And it's good. I don't think he should get that much money because he has to be, conscious about what's going on. You're older. I get all that. But he's not an Ivan Rodriguez type guy. When Pudge went to the Yankees, when Pudge went to the Nationals, when Carlton Fisk was in the White Sox.
I hope that not happened to him because they start going around like this. Go around all over baseball.
And Yadier played like he still had a lot to offer. And I'd be hard-pressed to find – I might take one or two guys before I would take Yadi Molina, and then I would take him as an overall catcher, as an overall leader. The NL Central is a winnable division. The Cardinals were there last year battling it out. You take him away from St. Louis, it's going to look very bad. But I also agree. I think that Yadier Molina is one of those guys that he's very hard-headed, and he's a man's man. He always sticks to his principles. Like if you see him on Instagram, you see him whatever, he doesn't do anything to appease other people. If he says that if he doesn't get what he wants, he will retire because that's what God wants. I absolutely believe that he's that kind of guy. He's a proud Puerto Rican man, very philanthropical. I just hope that he stays with St. Louis and they come to some sort of agreement for the better of him and for the better of baseball.
I think it's hope to stay with St. Louis. You know why? Because I see a couple of players, friend of mine, they go all over different league, different team. Oh, the song, his career sign like kind of like disappear. But I think this guy, he can. I don't know. The Cubs got that type of money, but I will trade Contreras.
They have Wilson Contreras.
I know, but I will trade Wilson Contreras to the Anaheim Angels and then bring Yadi Molina to help me. But I don't know how much money Yadi have because Yadi, I just saw Suzuki. He just signed a contract, and I only told me he said, "Yeah, it's like $18 million different."
Kurt Suzuki just signed a contract for $1.5 million. Jose Martinez signed a contract for $1 million. These guys aren't Yadier Molina. I think they got to try to find somewhere like $10 million.
So I think that what's holding this up is, again, Major League Baseball, and Theo Epstein is there to help them. And the first thing Theo should do as a consultant is let's figure out this universal DH thing, okay? Because if you have the universal DH, I think that the Cardinals can go and offer Yadi a deal because one of the reasons that they're concerned about Yadi is that they have a young catcher that they want to try out in the position. So I think Yadi could be a guy that if there was a universal DH, you can platoon him and maybe not sign him for the $60 million that he wants, but maybe just give him a 3-year deal and talk about upwards of the $20 million and let him finish his career in St. Louis, not as an everyday catcher, but now you're platooning him. So I think that if that rule was in place, which again, I think that the universal DH should be in place and not the expanded playoffs like they keep talking about it. But I'm a huge fan of the universal DH. But the Cardinals, this division could be theirs.
Yeah, and you know what? And it's a division that you probably don't have to do a lot to win. I'm sure the Cubs still think that they could, if a couple things go their way, they could probably win it. It's just I have no idea. I know now that Theo's there, I can see a lot of good things happening. Like, hey, DH all around, give guys more jobs. Stop letting pitchers hit. I agree with you. If they do another extended playoffs, I mean, they're probably going to do it this year because they're desperate for money and the TV, so they want more teams in the playoffs. I just think that it's so watered down if they do it again over 162. But at the end of the day, whatever it takes for the guys to play, let's do it.
Only, but 162 though, like when you look at the playoffs, okay, you might have teams under 20 games under 500 going to the playoffs in a 162.
Me personally, I didn't agree with it last year. I thought there were teams that didn't deserve to be there. I don't think any third place team should ever be in the playoffs just because it waters down what you do in the regular season. So now you don't have to have that great of a regular season because you know you're going to be in the playoffs. And let's be healthy. That makes our regular season games not as important. That means winning a division is not as important.
No, I agree. And I want to say that the Yadi thing, you know, when I think about Yadi Molina and I think about active players who are wearing a uniform who are Latino, who can be a manager, who could be a big league manager, a name itself, I think it's Yadi Molina. And I think that his best shot is always with the team that you played with. So I think that a legacy, and we've been through it in our family with the White Sox, you know, of maybe, you know, departing in Ozzie as a player in 97, then it takes time to come back and vice versa. You don't want to see a bad breakup and then, you know, have to wait 15 years in order for them to make up and then Yadi not have a shot to be a manager. Like, to be honest, Yadi could sit there and say, I'm going to play for the next 3 years and I'm going to be the manager when I retire. You know, that could literally happen.
Well, it cannot be saying that. You might think about it, but you say, okay, I would have signed here, but as soon as my contract's done, I'll be the manager. I don't know about that. I think they had to be thinking about it. It's not players.
I'm saying you don't have to say it in order to think about it. Like, you were a player. You were like, I want to be a manager eventually. You weren't telling that to your whole team, but for him, I just think that when you depart, when you're Yadi Molina, okay, and the decision between keeping him or Pujols, okay, they kept him. I feel like he is the true Cardinal, you know, that he is the guy, and it would just be, I think that his chances of making it to the Hall of Fame are riding it out with that team. But again, if it doesn't work out, I can see Yadi Molina retiring and not wearing another team's uniform.
I hope it does. I hope it does. Like, okay, you know what? I hope, you know, it might not need the money, or obviously everybody want to make more money than what they are right now. But if that man retired, believe me, he got to open and close the door very quick to be the manager or coach for a few years. But
I agree. Oh, by the way, there's a lot worse coaches out there than Yadi Molina.
It's opportunities to be a Hall of Fame quicker and also give the manager job quicker. But I think it's a big, brilliant idea. I know he can still play.
You know what? You said something very interesting, because I always kept saying this. The way that the Hall of Fame is going, Yadi retiring early might help him get into the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Like, had Andrew Jones retired right before the Dodgers, he would have been in the Hall of Fame already, sipping. You know, they wouldn't use it as a, oh, look at his numbers went down.
A lot with timing. I just know that Molina seems like a pretty straight shooter always. So once he makes his decision, I'm sure that's what he'll be, and he'll be happy with it. We just hope that it's with the Cardinals.
No, of course, and I think that the division is winnable. I right now, I'm a player and I'm a GM. I love to be in the National League Central, because I'll be honest with you, if you're in the National League East, I admire that the Marlins have not made any moves, because what's the point? The Mets are probably going to take it, or the Braves. Or if you're in the National League West right now, the Central's wide open, and there's some divisions that are easier than others.
In the NL Central, and not, especially if there's expanded playoffs, you don't really have to do much in order to win it. Probably like 83 games gets it done. So
Cubbies, baby. So topic number 2, Rob Manfred. Okay. This week, the update was that Theo Epstein has actually been brought in as a consultant to help out. But Rob Manfred is telling teams, okay, to get ready for 162 and get ready for a full spring training, and that there won't be a need for a vaccine for fans to be in the stands, that they're going away from that. But what do you guys take on Manfred saying there's going to be a 162 game and that to get ready for spring training? Is it all BS, or is it for real?
I think that's the leadership that MLB or from Mr. Manfred for a long time. I think it's he sees other leagues going on. I mean, I know that the NBA had the shortest rest they've ever had in their history. So he's thinking, well, MLB can't be far back. I think owners are going to have to bite the bullet and say, hey, there's not going to be any fan. There's going to be a small percentage of fans because NBA has fans, NFL has fans, just very small percentage. And that's how they're going to start it off. And they're going to, I fully expect them to be a full spring training. I've talked to people already that are going to Arizona next week. On Tuesday of next week, catchers are already reporting out there because the White Sox, they want to get things going. And this will be every other team. And I fully expect there to be 162. And it's way better. I know last year was fun and exciting, but you want to see guys from the East play guys from the West. You want to see the White Sox take on the West Coast team. The Yankees. You want to see that. You want to see the Sox versus Yankees 6 games during a year because you never get to see those guys. And 162, it really gives you a barometer of how good you are. Because if you're gonna beat up on Kansas City, the Pittsburghs, the Detroits, the Orioles, it's no fun. You play that team over and over again, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, we're 15 games over 500. Then comes the playoffs, and then you crap the bed. I love the fact that there's going to be 162, and I hope it stays that way. I don't see why there wouldn't be 162 because other leagues are already going.
Well, I think it's a great move from Manfred to say, you know what, you guys have to be ready. Even you not when you get there. You're not in spring training, but if the commissioner told you have to be ready, prepare yourself to do that. That means everybody go into it. Okay, I don't think it's going to be 162. I hope it will be. I hope, God forbid, please be 162. But we will see how that thing work with the fans or so they have something behind the scene. I don't think they're going to play 162.
29 player roster. I saw that.
Here's the part. If Ozzie said that it's no 162. I'm going to bet that it's going to be 162.
Well, yeah, I bet.
If Ozzie Sr. said it's not going to be 162, I will bet that it's going. You know what? So my take is this: Theo will not be the next commissioner of baseball. Anyone who you ever think is going to be the commissioner is usually not the commissioner. It's a job that's picked by owners, and they're not going to pick Theo. Not saying that he can't do the job, but thank you for the question, Lou Manny Rosario. But I think that the owners do not want to go into another season, okay, of fighting the players. They want to give the players as many games, a full normal season, so that in 2022, when the collective bargaining agreement comes in, players can't say, well, you guys did this and you guys did that. Because to them, that's where the real negotiation happens. And I think they're going to do everything in their power to have a regular season. I think that Manfred's told the owners, you have to bite the bullet and you have to go take out loans, do what you got to do, but you're going to be there without any fans in the stands. Other leagues are doing it. We cannot look bad because when the collective bargaining agreement comes in, all these things are going to be taken into consideration. And again, once one group of owners is saying, oh, we don't want to play, we don't want to do this, I'll tell you who wants to play. Steve Cohen wants to play 162. And he wants to have a full – he's excited.
I'm sure the White Sox want to play 162 as well because if you think you have a chance of winning a World Series or getting in the playoffs.
Yeah. So I'm sure that there's a negotiation with that. But my take on that is that Rob Manfred has let them know and said, hey, other two leagues are out there. They're doing it. We cannot cop out on something that doesn't really exist. A new change in the guard for the president. So new things are coming in. The vaccine. Maybe the vaccine won't be ready in the beginning, but maybe for the end of the year, and fans can come in then. And again, so I think that they are going to plan for 162. I think that we might see the doubleheader be 7 innings, 29-man rosters, which are all things that can help out. So that takes us into the third topic, which helps out a lot. Guys, hot stove. It is burning. And here in Chicago, one of the things that I hate the most is when people call out Jerry Reinsdorf. He doesn't spend money. He doesn't do this. And then you look at what other teams have done, but he went and signed himself the elite closer in Major League Baseball, and depending on what your opinion is, and basically signed the player of the bullpen guy of the offseason. But we've seen moves being made, trades for Lindor, guys being signed to multi-year deals. We've seen a couple players go early on, Brad Hand, Cafe Martinez. What's your take? What's the next piece of move get taken off the board in the offseason?
It's been January, obviously spring training is in like literally 3 weeks. So a lot of teams are getting this done. As far as I saw Brad Hand was close to signing with the Mets, another good closer, the Indians closer. Great move by the White Sox. Great move. We'll see if he has opportunities to save, which that team's going to score a lot of runs. So, they're probably going to win a lot of games. It's going to be between them and Minnesota. Depends on where Nelly Cruz lands. Now that everything's been going on, I really don't see the Mets getting Springer. I'm going to say that the Toronto Blue Jays end up getting George Springer. That's just.
You think so? Springer goes to the Blue Jays. So again, on the board, we still have Bauer.
We're also forgetting that DJ LeMahieu just signed with the Yankees for $90
which they needed. I think that the Yankees now are still the best team in the American League because they signed him.
They just got their batting champion back. With him being on the Yankees, to me, they're still the American League favorite. Obviously, now I believe that Trevor Bauer was going to sign with the Yankees, and when the Yankees get Bauer, they even become even bigger favorites, not only to win the American League but to win it all.
I have a question. All these Yankee fans, what do you think killed the Yankees for last maybe year and a half? I don't say last year. The two big boys, they spend more time in the hospital. They spend on the field. And to those guys, to get what they want to get, those two guys have to be on the field. They have to be on the field, not because you have a good roster, you don't have a good team. I just talked to somebody with the White Sox organization. I just said, congratulations, you have a great, because people forgot that they signed the closer. They forgot how good they can be in the bullpen. Because I watch those kids pitch every day. They got a great arms, okay? But the guys say, you know what? Yes, we have a good team. We have good project. But the team got to show up on the field.
Oh, well.
And we have to teach them how to show up on the field.
That's another
thing. But
these trades they look good. I've been talking to the media around Chicago. They look good on paper. On paper, everything looks good. You sign a guy,
yes.
He's getting $54 million, Liam Hendricks.
So Aaron Bummer, the young pitcher, I think has made the best comment in the offseason where he said he doesn't care. He doesn't talk about prospects and winning games because winning games does not happen in the offseason. It just means that you have a better roster going into it and that he's not going to disrespect the divisional champs. He's talking about the Twins until we beat them. And I think this is a story when you're looking at the Dodgers, okay, people who are still in the mix for someone like Trevor Bauer, who are going to have a guy like Price come back, who are looking to make moves and who are still the defending champions, but everyone is on the Padres bandwagon. What I love about this hot stove is there's going to be a winner and a loser, okay? Everyone's signing everybody, but there's a team that's going to look really bad. For example, the Mets don't make the playoffs because I think that the Braves are still a better team.
Yeah, and it is this. Atlanta's been together for a longer time. The Dodgers have been together since the beginning of time. The Twins have been together for a long time.
Oh, Twins don't have no chance.
Twins
don't have any chance. We got money on the line. You and me, yes.
Okay.
Wait. Can I? Well, hold on. I'm gonna give you a brief history. I'm gonna give you a brief lesson in history about the Chicago White Sox and the Minnesota Twins. The only time that the White Sox have ever taken over the Twins.
Minnesota in their town, and they kick the White Sox behind. Just because you sign certain guys doesn't mean that they're all going to mesh well and they're going to play better. The Twins have been together for a longer time. The Braves have been together for a longer time. And it takes time for teams to gel. When the Marlins signed Heath Bell, they thought that they were getting Mariano Rivera. He crapped the bed. People can suck during an MLB season because it happens. Jose Abreu goes out and he breaks his foot in the first month. Guess what? Now you're on the hook. Oh, my God. It takes being healthy. Everything has to work together for it to work. We don't know what's going to happen. The manager is new. New people are coming in. We don't know if it's going to work. It could either be great or it could either be shitty.
By the way,
hey, it's easy. Only double up.
I'm going to tell you. Hold on. So you should know. You were on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Okay, you and Jose Reyes were on the infamous cover of Sports Illustrated. You guys, the Marlins were the franchise, the team. You guys got the show on Showtime. It was the team that was going to win 100 games.
No, wait.
Jose, Heath Bell, more than the Sox did right now.
Okay,
on a team that won 80 games the year before. It means nothing.
Yeah, but they have in the lineup from the year before, they're exactly the same lineup. We have exactly the same lineup we had the same year. Bach.
And that team, by the way, won 80 games. The White Sox are coming just like the Padres. They're coming from a 60-game season.
right? We don't know what's going to happen.
We don't know if Pantera's going to be that guy or that slump is going to be Jose Abreu. Hold on. Jose Abreu was an MVP on a 60-game season. Frank Thomas would have 15 MVPs. I'm just saying, like that's why. But that's why I think that there's teams that are being smart, okay, like the Cubs, that are being interesting because somebody just pointed it out. There's been rumors of Baez possibly being moved to the Astros, okay, for prospects. Teams like the Cubs are realizing that they don't have to spend $300 million to possibly win the division.
If Baez goes to the Astros, Yankees, Astros, ALCS. I just said it right here on Being Guillén. If Baez goes to the Astros, I hate the Astros. Yankees, Astros, ALCS.
Hey, by the way,
you just heard it here.
Depend what kind of Baez the Astros going to get.
Hey, Baez is going to be amazing.
By the way,
Lindor,
wait a minute. By the way, I'm big time Baez fan, huge. But it depends what kind of Baez they're going to get. I will trade Contreras now to the California Angels.
Well, Contreras is everyone wants. So the Cubs right now, everyone wants Wilson Contreras.
I will trade him
and I don't think it's going to be the Angels because they don't have enough.
Pick on your team, the Sox catcher or Contreras?
I would take Wilson Contreras.
Grandal makes 3 times more money than Contreras.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Well, I don't believe nothing against Grandal. I think he's a great player, but I don't believe in that new catcher rating.
Ozzie, you say a great player?
Well, he's a great player.
In all your career, great players. The kid from Anaheim, Trout.
Well, he's a superstar. That's different.
Abreu is, but this guy, I don't think. Hold on. I see this guy every day for 50 games. Maybe played last year.
Like Frank says,
I will take Contreras every day.
Like Frank says, he's not a 3-hole hitter.
It's not.
By the way,
I think the White Sox going to do a lot better because the manager they have last year, he did a horrendous job, terrible with the players. The reason Pantera no win Rookie of the Year because he continued to hit this kid batting 8. Why? I know what it is to you. You put this kid batting 2nd and somebody to protect him. That kid's got better numbers than what he got the last 2.
Well, Pantera couldn't win. Pantera couldn't win Rookie of the Year in a 60-game season. That's you can't do it. You can't do it in a 60-game season.
Under 162.
So again, the hot stove is this.
Merker. They saw something the best players from foreign countries. Okay.
Foreign countries.
Okay. You made Merker. What's his name?
Scott Merkin.
Scott Merkin. Put Pantera in with 200 at bats. One of the best coming from another country to the White Sox. Wow. With 200 bats.
Well, by the way, here on the Being Guillén show, we talk about serious analysis.
My friend,
hey, by the way, serious analysis.
Carlos Lee?
That's bad.
You got to tell me Pantera is better than Carlos Lee? Pantera is better than Ozzie Guillen? Pantera is better than...
Pantera right now is not better than Paco Martin.
No chance.
Paco Martin right now has more hits than Pantera. Pantera is 3 DUIs away from... Again...
And another thing before we get into this, it's very hard right now, like let's say the Cubs, because we talk about the teams that were in town. The Cubs this year are going to be very, very loose. Very loose. Nobody cares about us. Blah, 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 blah. David Ross, boom, they win 85.
Did you think David Ross is a bad manager?
No.
Okay, that's what I'm saying, though. So what happens if David Ross went to that team and said, we can win this division without all these superstars, and we can find a way to grind ourselves in here and win the division by making a couple real smart moves? Because Yu Darvish, hold on. Yu Darvish 2 years ago, we wanted him out of Chicago, and he pitched well in a 60-game season.
Remember, they still have Baez. They still have Chris Bryant.
Hendricks.
Have Contreras.
First baseman.
And they still have Rizzo.
And they have Hendricks.
Yo, what's his name?
Hayward.
They still have Kimbrel. They are
not a bad team. They're probably going to re-sign Lester for a year, I would think. I don't know what they're going to do, but they still have their little nice core. They let Schwarber go. I'm sure that's not a big deal to them. We will see what's going to happen.
I just think that I want to say this real quick.
The roles are reversed. One side of town, lot of expectations.
They have to win.
A lot of expectations now. If they go in And by some miracle, that's why I don't want extended playoffs. That's why I don't want extended playoffs, because they're going to backpedal their way in. Oh, we're a playoff team. Just what happened to the Bears.
Well, I want to say this, though. I want to say this real quick, okay? And this is happening in the age of social media before we end and wrap this. The best players are the ones that are most popular on the internet, the ones that the lists go out. It's all about marketing, and it's all about winning on the splash. They sign so-and-so. Oh, they're going to win it. They're going to do this. And they don't look at the results on the field. That's what baseball has become. It's all about the sensation at the moment. And what people do not understand is that at the end of the day, it's all about what you do on the field.
Yes, that's the guy. He texted me a few hours ago about that. I said, yeah, in the paper, we're awesome, but we have to translate that all the way to the field and make sure they play to win on the field, not on the papers, not on the media.
Well, that's what we're talking about. Juan Soto, people saying Fernando Tatis Jr. is a better player than Juan Soto and Ronald Acuna. And he's not.
More flamboyant. Yeah, he's more like, oh my God.
Yeah, he's more fun to watch, and he has a really cool Instagram.
Juan Soto plays in Washington. He doesn't play video games with everybody watching him on Twitch. Juan Soto's better than both of them.
No, I agree. I get, again, it's all about marketing, and it's all about sensational. We just saw the Yankees right now. Again, we're talking about, and I want to wrap up. I'll give you a team like the Yankees, okay?
They're good.
Everyone keeps talking about Stanton and Judge. They're big boys. But I think they can win without them. But I don't think they could have won without DJ LeMahieu. And they got DJ LeMahieu back.
Urshela, Gleyber, DJ LeMahieu, Sanchez. They are loaded.
Andujar.
By the way, if they want to win,
and they're pitching.
You know what? If they want to win, let me tell you one thing right now. That's easy. Yadi Molina.
Woo.
Go to the Yankees and put the ace this kid, because that guy, he cannot.
Molina to the Yankees.
Say right here, if Molina goes to the Yankees.
Yes, I will do it.
They're in the World Series.
Yes, I will do it.
3 years, $35 million.
Pitching staff, their bullpen is disgusting.
Okay, that's what I say.
3 years, $35 million. Yadi Molina to the Yankees. Ozzie Guillen just said it. Pack it in. The Yankees would win it all. I love that move. I love it. Yadi to the Yankees.
Plus a guy can catch and smart men behind the plate.
And it makes the team, everybody better.
By the way, I'm saying this not because me. I say this because the fact the Yankees really uncomfortable with this kid behind the plate.
He can't catch very well.
He cannot catch well. He can hit. He cannot catch. You put Yadi Molina with that Yankees uniform,
I mean, it's
a different lineup.
I mean, the bullpen, forget about Chapman. He's obviously great, but the guys before him are really, really good. And the hitters that the Yankees gotten are proven MLB players. All of them. From Gleyber's been in the league for like 6 years already. These guys are very good. And the Yankees, if they get Bauer, what if they get Bauer and Molina? Because I saw that their payroll, they have a lot of flexibility right now. They are they're gonna obviously they're the Yankees. Their window's open. They're gonna try to win it all. I'm looking for. I think they have to sign either Bauer. They're gonna do something. They just re-signed the batting champ. I think the Yankees are going to be someone to watch in the next couple of weeks.
Well, stay tuned next week, guys. Hopefully we'll all be in the same studio. The Rona will be gone from my body.
It's over.
Hey, by the way, Corona be over, and happy birthday, Sarah.
Happy birthday. Yes, to my wife, Sarah. Happy birthday. I hope she's watching, enjoying it. Sarah. Thank you, guys, and we will see you guys next week.